Hi everyone, welcome back to the stream. Today we're gonna talk about the crypto market, of course. We're going to answer, of course, some questions that were asked in the trading group. We're going to also do some charting, and basically we're gonna tackle the big five again. Maybe talk about potential buys because many people already invested in some coins that lost a lot. Most of them didn't recover, but the other ones managed to recover, and others are still consolidating. So that's why we're going to see which ones are worth the buy, which ones should we sell, if there's any. We're going to tackle in this live stream. So this is the coin market cap. This is where I usually just go to have a quick overlook of what's happening in the crypto market. Today, I can see that basically prices are kind of stable. Okay, the global crypto market is down by 1%, which is somewhat a consolidation indication. Also, Bitcoin is down 2.4%, which is currently around 35.9 thousand. Ether managed to go back from its 2,200 level all the way to 2,800, 2,900, and then adjusted down back towards the $2,600. By the way, in previous live streams, we did talk about the important level of 2,500 for Ether. We're going to do some charting for that as well and see what's happening with Ether. Because in my opinion, Ether is going back on track, going upwards and then adjusting a bit, and then it's gonna go again up. I got many questions about Ether last week if they should sell because prices fell down to 2,000, 2,100, but I was very sure and I did give some advice on holding and not selling because prices were going to recover, and this is exactly what happened. Prices went all the way back to 2,800 and currently a bit above the strong support of 2,500. We're going to see what happened with Binance. Binance shot really high in the past week, 25% specifically. It went above the $400 price point. We're going to see Cardano, which is basically also up by 20%. Doge is up by kind of almost 30% in the past week. I'm looking here. And it has to do with, of course, everyone knows the latest tweet of Elon Musk. This is getting ridiculous, honestly. With every tweet, there's a sudden surge in prices, and many traders that I know are basically just putting alerts every time Elon Musk tweets something, and they directly go and buy in order to profit from this price jump every time he tweets, which is ridiculous. We have Ripple that is up 12% in the past week also. Ripple managed to basically also again go back to the strong support of around 88 cents. And I did write an article back like a month ago where I spoke about the important level of 88 cents. And exactly this is what happened when Ripple went all the way to $1.7, $1.8. It fell back with the recent crash all the way to 90 cents or 88 even, and we're going to do some charting for that as well. Polkadot is up 19% in the past week. So we can basically see that most coins either shot really high, like Filecoin, for example, or they kind of dropped, but still nothing too big. If you want to see, for example, look at this section right here, all the caps that are around between 3 to 4 billion. For example, Neo, Maker, Kusama, IOTA, PancakeSwap, and Shiba Inu They all have like market capitalization between 3 to 4 billion, and they are all up by more than 20%. Algorand is a very good crypto coin as well. So anyway, at the end of this live stream, what I'm gonna do is suggest a few hot buys and say my personal favorites. Of course, you guys know already that I mentioned in our last live stream, I did mention Matic, Polygon. Currently, it's down 10%, so I think this is a very interesting buy price. And we're going to see that in the charting. So for the charting for today, I'm going to do Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, Ripple, and Matic. Hey, Michelle. How are you, man? By the way, in the trading group that we have on Telegram, I specifically talked about AVE. And I said, guys, look out for AVE. And if we notice in the past week, AVE is up by 20. That was a really good signal. I'm not sure if you caught it, but always keep an eye on whenever we release articles or we give away like small tips in our trading group. Of course, you can see more of that in our Discord channel for our premium members. Those guys get on a regular basis, on a daily basis, like all the trade positions that they should do, all the trading setups, the entry points, the stop loss, the take profits, how much leverage if you are trading with a broker that gives you leverage. So yeah, check it out. For now, let's go to our trading software, charting software rather. Use TradingView. Okay, let's go to BTC USD. BTC, I'm not sure if anyone knows BTC is the ticker for Bitcoin. So there are many interesting tickers, and most of them get confusing at some time. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin chart. This is the 1 day. So let me explain. And by the way, guys, just for you not to feel a bit overwhelmed by all those chartings, I'm gonna choose a new chart layout and I'm gonna do all the charting from scratch. So you also learn how to chart, because many people don't know how to correctly approach charting. And this is very important in order to take financial decisions or trading decisions. Perfect. This is basically the chart for Bitcoin on the daily. Okay, so this means that each candle right here is 1 day. Okay, so if it is red, basically the price in this day was down for the day. So it started at one price and then ended on a lower price. And if it was green, it means that obviously it started on one price and ended on a higher price. Now, if you notice, we have a high and low for the day as well. So if we notice here, for example, we can see a very thin line, and this represents the lowest it reached for the day. So prices started here, they went up, they went all the way down towards 50,000 for this case, 51,000, but went back up for 56. Okay, and those basically show or they tell us, what does it tell us? It basically tells us that there was a very strong resistance by buyers not to let prices fall this much, so it corrected a bit back up, and the opposite if we're looking at it from a buying perspective. Anyway, now I can see specifically the 1 day chart. If I wanted to look from year to date perspective, so let's say I bought around here, Jan 1. Let me see how much people made if they just bought year to date. And this is a very important indicator, because many people are like, hey, if you bought Bitcoin, you lost. And this is not true at all. It depends when did you buy Bitcoin. So let's first see how much you earned in case you bought starting of this year. So current prices are around $35,000, 35,500. So if you bought since Jan 1, 2021, you basically are up by 20%. Okay, 20% in an investment world. Okay, if you are buying a stock or a portfolio, is a very good return. Okay, basically, and it's only 6 months into 2021. So who lost specifically? Of course, people who bought at prices higher than 35,000, and this happened. Let's see, since starting Feb. So we have 2 months in. So all the people who bought when prices shot from around 38, 39,000 all the way to 46, that was a huge gap. Now, let me teach you guys how to first chart, and then we're gonna approach why and where to buy, because it's always important not to listen to the news, neither to listen to your friend who is telling you, hey, Bitcoin is up, go buy Doge, go buy whatever, anything that they just spit in your face. It's very important to do your own research and never trust anyone. Even my advice that I'm saying on the stream, go back and double check if this is true, because many people just like to talk without doing the actual work. So for the case of Bitcoin, if I was to look at the trend, I could have seen that in the beginning it was just going on a regular uptrend. And any, by the way, stock, you remove this one. Any stock basically behaves in the same way. I first plot the uptrend. And I can see that prices tend to go way higher than the uptrend line. Every time you try to see that there's a high price, always be afraid, okay? If there were no price corrections every now and then, it is not advisable to enter the market. For example, if I see this uptrend right here, okay, between Jan 10 and December 13, that was a so prices became way higher. We should expect a sudden drop, but it didn't. It just kept going up and then adjusted for half the price. And this is a very bad position to enter the market. Every time prices are inflated, always look for adjustments and then go buy. You should never buy at all-time highs. Even, for example, in today's market, in the equity market, if you wanted to invest in indexes, for example, index funds, if you want to invest in the S&P, for example, just buy a basket of companies or ETFs or whatever, always look for prices. So today, the US equity market is highly inflated. If you want, guys, I'm gonna just peek at the S&P after I finish Bitcoin, just to see what's happening with S&P. To take an overlook of the US market. And you will see that prices are really high, and investing at today's market is not really advisable because prices are more to adjust downwards. So this is the first thing for Bitcoin. And if you want to say that, hey, I didn't have a high time frame, you can also adjust that in order to know where prices started to fall. Okay, so specifically, you should do that. I take my uptrend line and I adjust it with this strong uptrend like that. If you wanted to say that you didn't buy since October, right? You just bought since December or even Jan. Okay, December, this is January. So this is an extended uptrend. I can see that prices went up and then corrected back to this uptrend. And then they went all the way up. They kind of adjusted, but not to the uptrend. And they continued going upwards. But then it adjusted and crashed heavily to this uptrend. And still, if I see this action around here, I would have said that this is a very normal behavior. Okay, that was very normal. When did prices stop being on an uptrend? Right around here. Okay, so this is specifically between 12 and 13 of May. That was around last month. And I'm gonna put that in a nice circle. Right around here, prices fell below the uptrend. Again, I'm talking purely about charting. So you will hear me say prices did this and that, but again, you shouldn't always look at the charts. Look at the overall market and what's happening. So I saw that this is happening, and at the same time, if you listen to what's happening in the cryptocurrency sphere, for example, Twitter or online communities, Reddit, whatever, any kind of social platform, you will see that basically people starting to panic. And at the same time, during this time, we had Vitalik dump all his dog token like Shiba Inu and Doge and whatever. And at the same time, after a few days, Elon came in and he tweeted about how Bitcoin was not eco-friendly, which is a very stupid analysis from his end. I don't understand how Elon Musk came to this conclusion while he's the one who sends like tens of rockets every year into outer space. And you can see the emission of CO2 into our atmosphere. And I don't think how this is sustainable as well. And he did also the Boring Company, where he basically just invented a flamethrower, right? That even didn't do have this long flame. It was a very short one, which you plug in non-sustainable elements, and it's made of plastic. Really stupid. I'm not sure. And by the way, when he said that Bitcoin is not eco-friendly, it was never the case. So when he entered the market, it was still the same. He just decided to change his mind, and this is basically not very mature from someone to just go into the public and throw any speculations about anything, especially on Twitter, where you are basically under everyone's eye. So this happens. This signal right here is a very strong sell. Okay, if you hold Bitcoins or even other than Bitcoins, you had to go out of the market. Okay, why am I saying this? Because Bitcoin till date is still a very strong leading indicator in the cryptocurrency market. So for example, let's say you hold other cryptocurrencies, not Bitcoin, Ether, whatever, any kind of altcoin. And they would specifically get affected by the price behavior and the price action of Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's dominance today is still above 40%. And the 40% dominance is still very effective and affects all the prices in the market. So this happens around here, definitely a strong sell signal, and prices started to fall. Now, where can I know prices are going to reach? Let's say you're an investor today and you saw that prices reached this price here. You should definitely sell. And when should you go back into the market? So for me, I would have waited until prices recovered above, well above, not only above. So it kind of peaked around here. I wouldn't directly place my buy. Hey, the down market ended. Definitely not. I would wait for further confirmations that the market recovered, but this did not happen at this time, and prices continued to sink downwards. Now, where would prices reach, and how can I know where to place my buys, for example? This is where I look at support and resistance levels. So where do you guys think a good support level is for Bitcoin? A support is basically a level where prices multiple times tested this area, and then they reached it, and then they rebounded back upwards, where resistances are the completely opposite indicators, where prices touched a price and then went back downwards. So for me, if I can just look where prices were tested this area, this is one here, around the 35 or 34 even. And by the way, when I say areas, it's not a specific price. So right here, I placed around $34,000, but definitely it's not $34,000. We should give it a buffer of around, let's say, 5% is a good buffer for cryptocurrencies and specifically for Bitcoin. Why 5%? Because let's assume I'm talking about a price of $10,000. This assumes that prices might still be between 10,500 and 9,500, and still be consolidating, still the same analysis. So 5%, I think, is a good, or even 2.5%. Between 2.5% and 5% is a good area when I'm talking about support and resistance areas. Okay, so for this case, let's show all those interactions with the $34,000 price point. This is one here, just so you guys get a sense of how prices behave. This is the second one here, bounced all the way towards it and then rebounced back up. This is the third one. It breached it, but then went back up. Now, if I want to look again right here, prices reached it around here. And again, right around here. And now what do you think, guys, would happen? If prices continue to go downwards now, it will definitely reach $34,000 or even reach it slightly for like one day, because as we saw here, prices didn't fully stay on prices for more than one day. So it goes below $34,000 for one day, but directly goes back up. So I would say for now, prices should continue downwards. And in my next live stream, I'm going to show how Bitcoin price will touch $34,000. And it did. If it didn't, hey, you guys can tell me. But I'm very sure that it will. And 90% of the time, my charting analysis is on point. So not to brag, but I've been working in the equity field for like more than 8 years now. And usually charting for me is something natural. So if it also touched the $34,000 price point and bounced back, this is a very strong confirmation that the $34,000 is a very important price for Bitcoin. So next time you see it at $34,000, what will you do? You will definitely place a buy order, okay, and place a stop loss right around 32 or even 31 or even 30, depends on your risk appetite. And then you will wait for prices to go back upwards. So from a $34,000 price entry all the way to $40,000, or let's say 39, okay, because I can see in here in a short-term trade setup right here, I can see a resistance right around here. So if prices went to $34,000, I place a buy order, a stop loss around 33, 32, and then a take profit right around 39. And this gives me a nice return of around 15%. That's how day traders do it, or swing traders as well. You earn 15%, you take your profit, either you reinvest it in another altcoin or you cash it out. This is your choice, but basically this is how you can do it. You just spot support and resistance, because cryptocurrencies don't often react to fundamentals as much as the equity market or even the FX market, right? Currencies in the world. I'm talking, for example, about the euro dollar, the yen dollar, the pound, all those strong pairs, the majors. They basically get affected by geopolitical news or by all the legislations that happens. Inside the EU, for example, in the States, what Biden is doing, for example, today is he is increasing tax on companies. And if you read the news today, you will see that he's taxing way higher. And for me, in my personal opinion, it will lead to lower employees, so lower employment, and this will create a bit of a stagnant economy or even downwards appraisal for the whole economy as well. So this is my setup for Bitcoin. I'm not gonna stay too much. If anyone has any question, please write them down in the comment section. I'm throwing an eye every now and then. Now let's go to Ether, ETH USD. For Ether's case, it was highly manipulation. It was highly manipulated. per se. So for people who thought that Ether was coming to an end, let's talk about this specific case. If I look at the daily chart as well, I can notice that Ether's price is still on an uptrend. Okay, you might notice that we had a huge up and down, but let's go back to the charting. And now instead of drawing just a trend line, I'm going to draw a parallel channel just for you guys to see. This is a perfect uptrend, but not only perfect uptrend, a perfect up channel. Okay, but what happened with Ether's case? There were huge talks in the community about high anticipation of EIP 1559, for example, that's going to happen in June. Many projects that use the Ethereum blockchain started to pop up, like the DOT tokens and other projects that use the ERC20 protocol on the Ethereum blockchain. And this led to a huge increase in prices. And after Doge started to go all the way up, other DOT tokens as well started to appear, and they all used the ERC20. And for sure, definitely prices went on a very inflated uptrend. And people started to expect a price of $10,000 for Ethereum, for Ether specifically, for the token. But at the same time, for me, I do believe that Ethereum, if they manage to reduce the fees in June, later in June, I'm not sure when this is going to happen, kind of around mid-June, so in about 2 weeks, if prices are going to adjust and the fees are going to get better and all the miners continue to do their regular work, because as you know, miners, they basically approve all the fees and they earn those fees. So when we talk about lowering fees for the end user, we're talking about a lower profit for miners. So we're going to see how this is going to affect the market. So prices extended all the way up. And as I said before, okay, whenever I see a price going way higher than a trend line, and take a trend line as the average. I don't want you guys to say like, hey, this is a line, it went above it, so I should sell directly. No, this is an average price. This is an average upward trend for the project, for the token, or for anything. And if prices suddenly start to shoot all the way higher, definitely there will be sellers who want to cash out for profit taking. And this is specifically what happened all along the other stories, like Vitalik dumping the DOT tokens, like Elon Musk spitting stupid stuff about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, for example. But if we notice, prices didn't fall all the way down to zero, right? So for everyone who says, hey, cryptocurrencies are worthless, look at what's happening. I don't know what is happening, guys. What did I see? I'm just seeing a regular uptrend with an inflated price that got adjusted back downwards toward exactly the uptrend line. So let's see how this uptrend line was tested multiple times. This is the first one. Let me draw it here. First time around here. Someone is asking about Raven X project. Chin low. This chin low? Yeah, I don't know about that, man. But I'm gonna check it out if you want. If there's any token for this project. Oh, the Raven. I think there is a Raven token. I heard about it. What I can do is just for now, because I always read and I do my research about any project. So if I'm looking at any token, if I want to buy it, I don't only look at the charts, by the way. Never only look at the charts, and always read about the project, who started it, the timeline, the white paper, the token economics of it. They call it the tokenomics. Read all of those things, and if it makes sense for you, it's just like any regular project in your real world, right? So if your friend comes to you and say, hey, let's open a restaurant in our area, and there are like 1,000 other restaurants that do the same, would you enter this investment? So if it's basically the same thing for those kinds of cryptocurrency projects, always look at the use case. Okay, how can people in the future use this project? If it's only about sending and receiving tokens, hey, the cryptocurrency market is already full of those projects. And if they tell you, hey, you can send it really fast, for example, there are you have, for example, Ripple, you have Stellar, where you can send those cryptocurrencies in a fast way. So you should always look for projects like Ethereum, for example, a whole blockchain that has smart contracts. Check scalability blockchains that they merge two blockchains together. This is a very good investment. So anyway, going back to Ether, I can see a steady uptrend with an adjustment in inflated prices all the way back to the uptrend. And if you notice now, prices are just continuing their uptrend. I don't see any bad, you know, price behavior. Yeah, I think Chinlo was a bot or someone from the trading group. I think many people they just come in, they ask for something, then go back, and I think they might rewatch this at a later time. I think John was asking because someone came in and just asked about Raven project and then he left. It might be. Well, he has a funny name or username, whatever. So that's for Ether. So if I just want to conclude, Ether is on an uptrend. Do you think that Ether is a buy, a hot buy right now? I don't think so, because it's currently right in the middle of my channel and it might still adjust downwards below the $2,500. So for me, I would advise to wait. This is not a good buying price around here. Prices might go to 2,500. They might go to 2,200 at the latest. And yeah, is there a triangle at the end? There is. There might be. Yeah. So a wedge. Yeah, definitely. So basically, if you already trade currencies, for example, you might look at that and say, hey, this is a pattern that I already know, for example. And you might definitely say that I should directly sell. So for example, you might spot a kind of head. I don't want to call it, this is not a head and shoulder for me. But if we try to draw something right here. So for example, prices went up. They did a kind of a head, a left shoulder, and up, and then. So you might say this is a pattern, a very well-known pattern in trading, and you might say this is a head and shoulder. But I don't like to look specifically at those kinds of you know, of price technicalities, because for me it's not always very clear, right? After the trend ends, you might look at it, but during the trend, so when prices are here, this is nothing. This tells you nothing, rather than looking at support, resistance, and trend channels. Okay, moving on to Binance, which is BNB USD. Bingo. BNB. Okay, what do we see here? First, the first thing that catches my eye is who's watching and can know what can I see directly here? Can I see an uptrend, like something very, very strong, an uptrend, or a resistance or a support? I'm gonna give it 1 minute. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna say what I can directly spot here. What I can directly spot is a strong resistance, okay? Resistance area, resistance level, where prices tend manage to kind of they kind of manage to go around it, for example. So the average price for this time horizon here between Feb and March was around $250. Okay, so let's take this into account. The prices managed to stay in the kind of in the middle, and when I see prices converge out of this box or below of this box, you can directly spot an upcoming trend. Okay, so for the case of Binance Coin, when prices went right above this one here, I might have like an eye right around the 333 here, because it already that I might say this is a resistance, but it continued all the way higher. And yeah, and there was a huge speculation about, by the way, BNB, how their platform Binance was behaving, how the BSC, the Binance Smart Chain, had many useless projects and scams and whatever. And this basically started to have a lot of speculations about it by the crypto community. And this is exactly at 12 and 13. If you look, guys, here, 12, 13, as we said before, when Vitalik and then Elon came in. This is the first one, Vitalik, the second one, Elon Musk. And what happened? When prices went downwards, okay, they went back to this strong support level. Here we go. And it touched specifically the $250. And then now prices are on the rise again. Now, how on the rise can I say? Okay. Take my uptrend. I'm gonna take my uptrend channel for this one here. Off we go. This is kind of a very strong up channel, so I would be wary of buying anything right now. Here we go. This is a very strong up channel, specifically because prices are recovering from the $250. Other than that, what I can spot right here is a very interesting level at 380. So if prices don't fall below the $380, like in let's say 2 to 3 days, I would think that BNB is a good buy. But if prices stayed stagnant below this average channel and continued sideways, I would wait, because prices might still adjust downwards before continuing back up. And this is, of course, it has to do with the overall cryptocurrency market. So let's say Bitcoin is falling even further, definitely BNB is going to fall as well. By the way, I wrote an article not a long time ago, let me go back to it, on CryptoTicker, that basically talked about an indication of why prices and the crypto market was going to bounce back up. And it was really interesting, by the way. That's why I'm going to just show you guys this article. And I'm going to talk about it because it was a very interesting, like putting all the charting aside, it was a very interesting spot-on analysis about why prices are going to bounce back. And it has nothing to do with being a cryptocurrency aficionado or whatever, a fanboy. It has to do with fundamentals and looking at a macro perspective. Here we go. So there were many analysts talking about, and those analysts, by the way, are from Bloomberg and highly reputable sources. And I'm not talking about regular spam or whatever clickbaity articles. But what they managed to see is that the volume of stable coins during the crash increased significantly. Okay, if we notice right here on CryptoQuant, prices in USD are for Bitcoins, and the reserve, the volume of stable coins, the aggregate of stable coins is in red. And you can see whenever there is a crash, usually the aggregate volume of all those stable coins goes way up. And this signals, by the way, whenever it goes up, this signals that people are just liquidating from cryptocurrencies and moving towards stable coins. Why? In order to go back in the cryptocurrency market. So let's say that Bitcoin is going down, is falling, and I don't want to lose all my gains, for example. I just liquidate, sell Bitcoin, and then buy USDT, for example. I'm going to give an example of Tether. And then I would wait for markets to go back, because USDT is another cryptocurrency, by the way. So I'm not totally cashing out of the crypto market. I'm just waiting for a better opportunity to go back in. And when prices recover, people will definitely buy back. But at the same time, if you see that Bitcoin price is going lower, and at the same time, stable coins are going lower, this is an indication that people are moving away from the cryptocurrency market. Okay, they are cashing out. So whenever you see that Bitcoin is falling in prices, but stable coins are up, the volume, because the prices, they don't fall. This is an indication that just people are waiting for a better buying opportunity for them. And there's an account on Twitter that's called Whale Alert that basically shows you high transactions of cryptocurrencies whenever they happen instantly. So basically they go and sniff out all those big transactions on the blockchains, and it will instantly tweet about big whales. We call whales. Any person who buys big quantities at the same time. And those whales, basically, they affect markets. So here, at that time when I wrote this article, I saw that a whale, they minted new tethers to, of course, because the demand was very high, so they had to create tethers because Tether is one-to-one, is a one-to-one ratio, which is like USDT with USD. If there's many USD, you have to mint at the same time USDTs to keep the price at $1. So whenever the treasury of Tether minted $1 million, 1, 2, 3, this is an indication that many people are just going to Tether just to hedge the price fluctuation. Going back to BNB, I would say that it's not a good buy right now. And I would prefer just to have a confirmation, a price well above the average, above 415. But definitely prices can still go low as 355. And any price below that would signal a fall towards the $256 area. Okay. Now let's go to Ripple. Now for Ripple, here we go. Now Ripple did a very interesting move. Okay, we previously talked about the 88-cent strong resistance area. Okay. This area was really strong, and prices before dipped all the way towards it, but then adjusted back, dipped towards it, and then adjusted back and continued back up. And today we see that prices managed to break below it, creating a kind of new resistance. Okay, so we have between the 80 and the 88 cents, it's like less than 8%. And it's more actually. So between 8 cents, it's like 10%. Yeah, it's exactly 10%. And creating a new resistance area. Let me adjust that. Just go to the settings and place it at 0.8. And this creates, by the way, this created a new channel, if you will, between 80 and 90, but prices managed to go higher than that. And for now, I can see that XRP is on an uptrend. The prices can still fall below 90, which is fine, but anywhere below 88 would be a problem, and prices might be stagnant for a while. I wouldn't buy XRP right now. I would wait again for a confirmation, at least to reach my line right here. And by the way, it's very important to buy around my support, resistance, or trend lines, because if you will just, like, let me show you guys one thing. If I remove everything, you don't have any indication, any tips, any help. Like, for example, you look at this chart right here and you're like, should I buy, yes or no? I don't know. You would say, hey, prices were here and now it's very low, I shouldn't buy, which doesn't make sense. But if you correctly know what you're doing, you have a strategy. The most important thing in investing and trading is having a strategy. If you just go in without looking, without doing your proper analysis, without repeating. So for example, you saw that what I'm doing, you saw all my charts, go back and do the same. This will give you a better picture of what's happening and more confirmation, okay? Rather than just hearing someone telling you go buy because it's a hot buy and not being able to buy and losing afterwards. I mean, so yeah, so for Ripple, you can buy right now, but I wouldn't. I would wait because prices might sink. I always like to buy at specific areas and like confirmation areas, because right now, if it's like in mid-air, I don't know what might happen. 93 is very close to 88. You might say, hey, I don't mind. It might go back up today, so I'm willing to take this risk. And this is, again, it is a strategy. You can do that, but just make sure you know where your stop loss is, where to get out of the market. Never buy at a price without knowing when to get out. This is another tip for you guys. Never buy something without knowing when to get out. Like, let's assume today you bought a Ripple at 90 cents. What will you do next? Will you just wait? What next? When to cash out? When to stop your losses? When to whatever? And most newbies in the market do that. I remember back in 2017 when the cryptocurrency market started to pump, specifically Bitcoin, going all the way from $2,000 or to all the way to 10,000 and continuing back up. Like, I remember my barber and my taxi driver heard about Bitcoin and they wanted to buy Bitcoins. They were like, how can I buy Bitcoins? He wanted to physically get a hold of Bitcoins and put them in his wallet. So people who didn't have knowledge about it, how would they buy? Of course, they will cause prices to to go all the way up, and then markets crash and they lose a lot of money. So that's it for Ripple. I think you should wait a bit for a confirmation and then buy, but put a stop loss around 80, or place another buy around 80 and place a stop around 76, 75. I think this is a very good strategy to wait for prices to go a bit lower. So your first buy would be here, but you would have to wait and place a buy limit, and then place another buy right here, and place a stop for the first one around here and another stop around 75 cents. Now for our last token, let's go to, we said we're going to look at Matic, right? I don't want to do Doge. It's very stupid. Every time Elon tweets, it goes up. For Matic's case, it was consolidating at around 30 cents for an extended period of time, and suddenly it started to show strength. And it went into another consolidation area, and it's also made a significant price increase. And whenever you see this one here, or even here, you have to be wary. Like, I wouldn't buy at this price around here. Okay, so back to my uptrend. kind of like that around. Prices can definitely fall to 1.4 or even lower to 1. Still, it's a bit undecisive for Matic because prices were very volatile. And if you look at the volatility here and the volume of the purchases, everything started to happen around May. So for me, Matic is a bit of a risk if you want to get into it now. But for me, on the long term, it is a very interesting project. Many projects on Polygon are starting as well, and they are receiving a lot of hype and good feedback from everyone, while other projects are also being like, remember when we talk about the Binance Smart Chain, how it had like scams as well? You cannot control it since it is a decentralized space, and many other projects might be very fishy as well. So you just need to make sure of what you're investing in. For example, there was a project called Polyfox, which was basically trying to do the exact same as Polywhale, which is a successful, one of the old projects on Polygon, a yield farming project. And yeah, providing liquidity. And it failed. Like suddenly the owner just took everything and vanished, which is very sad, of course. And this makes the whole crypto market very risky, in my opinion. So anyway, for Matic, going back to Matic, I would say you'd have to wait. Although prices here, we have a strong area here, right here, around the 1.6. But still, I would say to wait because prices might still fall below, around the uptrend or below it even. And if they fall below it, definitely, if it goes below 1.4 for an extended period of time, definitely it will reach 1. Mark my words. But at the same time, if it managed to rebound back upwards, we might see the $2 goal one more time, because it already made it like twice. Once here, another time here. So for now, I think like prices can go back a bit to adjust and then continue on their uptrends, or maybe a slower uptrend. So you might see it right around here or here. But the important thing is not to bypass the 1.5 area. Right here. So for me, this is my area. I would wait a bit for prices to reach around here and then buy in anticipation for the $2. Or if prices fall below that price area, just wait for the $1. Let's see. Anyone has any? If anyone from the chat, by the way, has any question regarding any cryptocurrency, please feel free to write them down and we can see them together. For me, I will just go quickly to the SPX because I spoke about around the crypto. Oh, here we go. Oh. I said I would show what's happening in the States. So this is the index, the S&P index, and this is basically this exact same thing that we were talking about, an inflated price and an inflated economy for this case. Because the S&P is basically a collection of very big companies. And in this case, you might see that prices are at an all-time high, right? Look at that increase, for example. This is very unsustainable, in my opinion. And many people already started to talk about a potential adjustment in the whole economy, specifically today with Biden imposing taxes on big companies. And this would have a negative effect on their bottom line. And specifically today, I read an article about the US authorities and in Europe as well, tightening their grip on companies who are evading taxes or trying to plan their taxes. They are going to retaliate by putting more laws, and this would increase the revenue of the governments, but at the same time, this will decrease the bottom line of those companies. And this basically is very bad for the economy because those companies will stop expanding, they will stop their expenditures. This means that their staff cost and their what's it called? Their staff cost is going to decrease. Decreasing staff cost affects household income. Household income goes down. This is bad for the economy because the cycle, people will shop less, they will buy less stuff from the economy. Companies are going to in turn have lower revenue, and this is how the cycle goes. And this is what they call in the economy, in economics 101 or 102 maybe, the multiplier effect. So $1, if you decrease $1, for example, from an economy, its effect would be like 5 to 6 to 10, for example, because it affects many people as well, or many businesses at the same time. So this is the S&P. We are at an all-time high. Are you comfortable buying at $4,230? I don't think so. Not for me. If I go back to the 1 week view, this is what's happening with the S&P. So notice how here since December, like Jan 2019 till around Jan, let's say Feb 2020. So within 1 year, it went up and then it corrected heavily. But this was due to the COVID crash, and that's why it happened. But then it recovered, and today we are here. Who would invest in such a thing? If your insurance broker approached you and asked you to buy an index, don't do it today. Never. I would never do that unless unless the rules were like you can liquidate anytime. But most of them don't have that. You are stuck for like years ahead. So from my point of view, when the crash will happen in the States, I think people would flock to cryptocurrencies. And the crypto market would be in a better place than today. So for my last thing for today, I will check what Vignesh asked. He's inquiring about Theta. Of course, Theta is one of those cryptocurrencies that are in the top 20, I believe. So first, let's go to keep your question here. First, I'm going to go to CoinMarketCap to see the overall of Theta. Here he is, number 18. Perfect. The price is $9. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it is up 46% in the past week. It is one of those good performances that managed to rebound. Very good. Now, two things now. Are you gonna buy today, or you already bought and you want to know what might happen in the future? Because if you look at the top cryptocurrencies that appreciated in this past week, Theta and Theta Fuel, they both did that. Theta, for anyone who doesn't know, is a streaming, decentralized streaming space. I already heard about it, and they compensate streamers in a very good way better than what's it called, other platforms. Where to start to learn how to chart develop? Well, you are in the right place, Vignesh. You are asking about where to learn how to chart. I'm not sure if you just joined, but throughout all the stream, I was talking about charting and strategies and how you should approach cryptocurrencies. If you want, you can wait for this stream to be ready to watch at a later stage and go back to this live stream and watch it over again, because I spoke about everything: how to chart, how to look and approach the cryptocurrency markets, and how to spot good projects in the crypto sphere. So just for now, as a quick round before I finish the stream, I'm gonna chart for Theta. Okay, you just bought. Okay, let's see, man. Let's see if that was a good decision to buy Theta. First, I will go to my charting software, which is TradingView again. Theta USD calculated by TradingView. I would say Yeah, why not? So this is the chart for Theta. I'm not gonna look, this is the weekly chart, okay? If I look at 12:13 at the exact time where the cryptocurrency market crashed, it did crash at the exact same time. So around May, right here. The first crash was due to Vitalik again. Second one was due to Elon Musk. It reached its strong. For the same day, it reached a previous resistance, which is the 3.6, but went back up. And today it is on an extended uptrend. Let me zoom in. Let's start to zoom in. This is the big picture. Zooming in, I believe, I'm not sure where you bought, but let me go back here. If anyone who bought around $6 between, around 6, if anyone bought around 6, that was a very good buy. Buying around 6 is a very good buy. Buying around 9 is a bit risky, and I will say why. First, what you must do is draw all your support and resistance areas. So for me, again, I was talking about the $6 important price. And why is it important? Because prices, if you can see here, they were consolidating around this area for the first time. First thing. The second thing is that it reached all the way here when it crashed. Okay, and it extended with kind of breakouts, occasional breakouts, but nothing more than 1 day, which is a good sign. Buyers are always pushing this token upwards. And today, after this confirmation right here, it touched for the last time and started its uptrend. And where do you think, guys, this price would reach if I was talking about buying at $6? Definitely the next resistance, which is around here. So this is my next important area, which is around $9. Okay. That was a nice 30% upwards. Now, what would happen? For me, this current price today is a very important price because I am at a resistance that might switch to another support. Okay, so this resistance area, this area right here was a resistance here, and then it turned into a support. This is the first support, this is the second support, this is the third support. And today it might be a resistance. So there are two case scenarios, Vignesh. The first one is the following. Prices might have reached this resistance area, and I always talk about areas, so you have a buffer from here to here. They might have reached here and they might adjust downwards all the way back to 6. But don't worry, that might not be the case, and prices might consolidate right around here before they go back to their next level, which is the $12. So if you notice how prices are doing, right around here. I'll paste it right here. So for me, I think, in my personal opinion, that was a good buy at $9, but do place your stop loss around 8.2, okay, or 8.3, right around here, just to hedge any price fluctuation before the prices continue on their way upwards. So we have two factors: the overall cryptocurrency market and the specific price action and technicals of this specific cryptocurrency. So it might go back to 6 in case the overall market continued downwards, crashing, or it might consolidate around $9 and then pick up upwards toward 12. In my point of view, from what I'm seeing specifically, and if the crypto market continues upwards, prices are expected to continue to the $10 and $11 price mark. Okay, and I'm going to keep a look at Theta. I might even write an article about it. But for now, I think you have to hold, but don't forget to place your stop loss right around here. Okay, 8.2. This is, I think it is a good, very good stop loss area for any person, be it someone who is very risky or someone who plays it safe. This is a very good area to place a stop loss. Okay, and yeah, I think that's it. This is it for today's stream, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed. Next time, I'm going to tackle what happened the previous week. So from now till next week, we're going to see what happened. Okay, because last week I specifically said what might happen today, and this is exactly what happened. For next week, we're gonna take a look again at Theta to see what happens. We're going to take a look at Ether because we saw that it is on an uptrend channel. We're going to look at Bitcoin and Ripple because we already spoke about how it's not a good idea to buy. And yeah, I'm gonna give also my recommendations for next time, what to buy and what not. Okay. For now, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm gonna see you in the next stream. Cheers.